All right, all right, all right. Time to relax, time to have a good time, time to put the microphone and plug it in. Probably will help. Yes, that's what happened on Friday night at the Sea Show. To relax, and we cannot hear myself somehow over the rainbow. My beautiful here we go. Now we can hear me. Can we hear me? Yes, we can. It depends how I'm talking here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's what happened on the seashore when Emma went and go relax, and we're like, oh, what are we going to talk about? Don't know. The only thing we know is we're going to go relax. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be an awesome night. Here we go. Adjusting the microphone. Finally did it. Yay. We got the microphone right. We got the bottle of water. Whatever. If you have a bottle of something, a little cocktail, enjoy it. It's Friday night. What an interesting week. What a interesting day. A lot to do. A little too crazy. Great great timing on everything. Even now, I know it's like, oh my goodness. Oh, I thought I was late. I wasn't that late. Good. 6:30, 7:30. And the fun part is what's going to happen on Sunday. Whoa. Sunday, we're going to have fun because I'm going to be co-hosting a show, actually. I'm going to be the pilot. You know, you're on TV, you like to listen. Oh, this is the pilot. Yep. We got somebody who's going to start his own show directly on the Sea Show on Sunday, which I think is pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to hear about him talking, actually. My friend Benjamin, we are ready to listen to you on Sunday night. That's going to be awesome. And Monday night, on top of it, to make it even better, trying to find... Oh, this is what happens when you are very relaxed and you're like, okay, I need to put a jacket on, a little jacket, little sweater on here. Here we go. Here we go. I'm all set. People are like, what are you doing, Emma? Nothing. It's Friday night on the Sea Show. I'm just relaxed. I am gonna take a card, and I want to have fun for a minute with it. With those are the, by the way, what is the universe has to said or shared tonight from the Enchanted Map Oracles. Colette Baron Reid. Love Colette Baron Reid, by the way. She has a great podcast that just came out too on Apple. Loved it. She's such a great intuitive, but so entertaining, so down to earth. I appreciate her very much. She's awesome. So, yes, drinking my water. So let's talk about the popsicles before I'm saying where I'm sitting on, because I had to go to WellTT early yesterday. Well, it was time, actually. I like my WellTT. Like I said, teaching the class, and I'm doing the session I'm doing in the afternoon here. Let's talk about business. Ooh, that's something I need to change, actually, on the, my goodness. Excuse me. Whoa, Emma. We are live here. No yawning. Yeah, so my goodness, Emma. Whew. It is Friday night. It's just a glass of water. Yeah, butter. A sip of water here. Emma is going sideways. I am going to say, Brita, there is something in your... I'm going to accuse them. I'm going to point my finger at it like we do. You know, generally when you don't want to be the guilty party of something, you always deflect on somebody or something else. And I like to do it, actually, because it's more fun to do it with my Brita bottle of water. They have a great filters in there, so let's blame the filters. There is something wrong with the filters. That's why I cannot talk very well. That's my excuse. I'm going to stick with it all night long. So back to the pop-ups, and afterwards, okay, that's what you need, discard. Afterwards to the story of Wild Titi as well, if I recall Wild Titi actually, but not the essential thing in there for Wild Titi. My pop-ups have a tendency, also past few weeks, they decide to be running the kingpin of the show at the doggy daycare, which is not what they want. So every time a dog starts to run, they get basically um, time out if they start to do this. So because those two are inseparable and, they are together tied like Bonnie and Clyde in a good way, in an interesting way. Ooh, Golden Palace. Ooh, that sounds good. So that's the card for the Enchanted Map. And, I decided to, maybe because those two are two troublemakers, that split them will work. Different pin. And I went over there because, when you go over there and you say, oh, how's the dog doing? Normally they say, oh, they did such a good job. They are super awesome. There is no issue with them, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Somewhere over there, but maybe not. I'm not so sure because I'm starting to doubt it, but we'll see. Plus, I cannot find them even yesterday. Well, yesterday I was super busy, but the few times I tried to look where they were, I could not find neither one of them. So who knows if they were somewhere specific or not. But the guy told me, he said, yeah. And I said, well, they got put on timeout. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, but they have been split into different pin. So what is going on over there? Allegedly, both of them were again troublemaker, which means troublemaker for them is, and I understand. So I'm not blaming those guys because I'm like, yeah, you don't want that to be starting to go. Well, if they are, seeing in a big space, and lately they have gone to big spaces like the tennis court, like the baseball field, like a huge backyard, well, they're going to run free. I'm not going to keep them on the lead. So that's what they do. They just start to sprint in there. So I can picture them sprinting into the pen at doggy pen at doggy daycare, and them stopping them. Imagine for a minute they start a riot over there, basically. Literally, this is what happened. It's just start their own riots over there, and it's just start to run, taking the other dog with them, which could create a problem because, when one start to run, the other do it, but there is always one in there that's going to start a fight. So in order to prevent any situation and stuff like that, they remove them. I'm like, okay, I understand that. But I'm like, holy crap, kiddos. Come on, don't do that to mama. This is not the right time to continue to do that and have you blacklisted, kids. Come on. We want you to continue to go to doggy daycare. We don't want you to go woohoo and not happening. So, yeah. It's been a very interesting moment when yesterday again, Mama got to do the walk of shame. I'm like, come on, kids. Don't you think I have enough to do this? You cannot do that every single time. So I'm like, good Lord, separation doesn't work either. I'm like, you two are terrible because now you're being blacklisted. One day they're going to call me and just said, take your little brat out of here because we cannot get them under control. There is too many timeout. I'm like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't know what to do with those two. I'm like, really? I understand, but come on, you're going to adulthood. Come on, your teenage years are almost done. Come on, kids. Don't do that to mama because mama want time off. And the only time off I've got, unless I have to send one over there and I keep the other one, which is like, what? That might be the solution, but I'm like, come on, I want the both of them to go over there so mama can put her feet on the office, on the table, and that would be awesome, which I would never do that because I don't have time to do that. Or if I want to go and I need to go shopping or do things, but no. So now I got two blacklisted. See, it's like the TV show Blacklist. My kids are being blacklisted because they got nothing else better to do than start in a race. Each one of them in a separate pen doing it. And I'm like, oh boy. I need to train those kids better. I don't know. It's just, you talk about creating trouble. So those there are plenty of the pop-ups. And again, would be explaining in the blog because I do have a blog in my weekly blog. I do have one called the Saga of the Pops. So every time they do something they're not supposed to, guess what Emma does? She go and share the story. Oh, and we don't get, and you know, everybody's laughing around the world reading it. And I'm like, yeah, but they're going to be kicked out. So I'm going to have to create my own club. I don't want to create a club with my dogs. I want to send them to doggy daycare. So we'll see. Yeah, because the guy was like, yes, we had to have time out. He was reported. Oh, you're reporting it? Okay. Yes, and not only a few times, but they had time out. Oh, are you sure they were different pen? Yes, they were. I'm like, oh, crap. And I'm like, no, kids, don't do that to mama. Come on, behave. I need a break. Mama needs a break. I may be going to do something funny on Instagram, do a similar to TikTok or a Reel, and I want to make people laughing because I think it's going to be the topic. I'm like, holy moly, come on, people. Oh, it's terrible. I'm like, where is the life of 1,000 kids? I want my life of 1,000. I want to be relaxed. I want to be zen. I don't want somebody to call me and say, take your brats of children out of doggy daycare. They are banned for life. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. I have a trainer coming up, coming here for Daddy. We need to do some intervention with her. So we'll see if we can straighten them out. I don't guarantee anything, but we can always try. One can always try. That's what we're going to do. Everything we can do is the best we can do with what we got. Like I always said, we do what we can do with what we got. But that's the story of yesterday for the kids. So while I was enjoying a moment of peace and quiet, and it's true, the next day they're tired. They've been hanging out with me today, which was very interesting because I had a ton of meetings and conference call and stuff I had to do. So it was good to, in the middle of the schedule, I'm like, okay, how am I going to handle the kids? Well, the kids don't care. They're laying on upstairs now on the bed like, I don't care. I'm resting. Yesterday was so much fun. I run. I got stopped. I got time out on my own. Today's relaxing day. So, but yeah, the life of 1,000. I'm telling you, those kids are terrible. And those are mine. That's tell you something. Oh, would you like to go and watch my kids? Oh, sure, no problem. Be ready for it because two different personalities and you never get bored with those two. So, but that was the story for the pop-ups and now they are blacklisted. Bad kids. I'm telling you, bad kids give mama a bad reputation too, but that's all right. But I have 2 kids blacklisted. But they make me do the walk of shame every single time. I was shocked yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, come on, kids. Do not make yourself noticed. Yeah, they did. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Not really, but I'm sorry. They acted that way, but I'm like, oh, good Lord, kiddos. So we'll see what, they're not going to go to doggy daycare this week. I think the weather is going to be nicer, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take them outside and take some break. That's what I'm going to do. Reorganize my crazy schedule a little bit better so we can do a mini walk or something with those kids. Or, again, the tennis court is a good place for them to run. So, either way, and do a long walk at the end of the week. So, we're going to see what's going to happen. So, what did I go to WorldTT and what story did I wanted to say about WorldTT? Except it's my favorite place on earth. I think not much. No, WorldTT should be fine. Maybe I forgot something. I don't know. I got lost in my thoughts. This is Friday night, so don't ask for too much. We just need to relax. And so is Emma, because there's more to do. So, okay, so the card I pulled, actually, and I did not even put any thoughts in there, but the universe, I pulled that card. With any personal thoughts on that. Okay, and it's the Golden Palace. So that's an interesting card. That's a beautiful card. That's from the Enchanted Map Oracle card of Colette Baron Reads. And there is always enough. So, I like it, actually. There is always enough. The Golden Palace card represents good fortune, ambitions, not ambitious, ambitions fulfilled, wealth and prosperity. It may also indicate emotional fulfillment. As perhaps you're entering a time of happiness that longs overdue. The message here is that self-worth isn't measured by what you have, no matter how abundant your life is. Instead, it comes from what you are, how authentically you're living your life, and how much love you're willing to share. Granting, Emma doesn't know how to read again. Granted, receiving this card does indicate material gain and a furthering of tangible rewards, but things come and go, and knowing your true value leads to even greater riches, and now share the wealth. So true. I like this one, the Golden Palace, because for me, my goal and what I do, that's the reason I'm very happy and excited for Sunday night, actually. It's to have that privilege. For me, it's a privilege to be able to be here and talk, and people are listening, say, what is the crazy lady's going to say tonight? We don't know. We never know what comes out of my mouth. And I'm going to say, because I channel the universe 24/7, I'm going to say that's the universe, all right? I'm going to blame the universe. First person ever to say that, isn't it? Oh, I channel the universe, but I'm blaming the universe for everything I say because I never know what I'm going to say. And it's so true. I never know what I'm going to be saying, actually. I sit on the front of the laptop or the iPad. Is pretty much the iPad, not my laptop, which I have on the front of my laptop as well. And I'm just enjoying it and see what else coming next because I don't know. But the privilege I've got here for me, and that's why it's such a prevalent card right now for me, is being able to not only do sessions about business in the afternoon on the C show, but it's also having people, especially new guests, coming on board, having, I will say, the courage to step up and say, hey, I'm brand new here. And sharing that they're brand new, they don't know what's going on here. You know, curious about how the community is, and explaining a lot of stuff around the way, but encouraging them to take the stage. Because for me, and I was talking about it with Daryl, who came this afternoon on my session while I was talking, session number 2, because the first one crashed. It's like today was a crash day, but it was nice it was nice to talk to him, because to me it's a privilege to be able to do this, and it's not a privilege as I'm special. No, it's a privilege to be able to be here as a host, to be able to talk to everyone, and sharing not only the crazy and the madness of the world has to say, but also having a moment where somebody connects with you, like in the case of Ben with me, and asks me if I would be a guest on each show, because he can't. That happened all yesterday. Actually, I can share that fun story. It's when Emma did not showed up on time at the C show on Thursday night, which by way of perfect synchronicity, and I'm very grateful for the universe, because things happen in a way. Sometimes you cannot control at all, which is always like most of the time you cannot control your outer condition and what's going on. And I had a meeting that was scheduled for like 2:00 in the afternoon yesterday with a group of individuals, and I'm working on specific projects for them or with them, either way you want to say it, or I want to interpret this one. And at the last minute they had a meeting, and it was from like 6 to 7, and I'm like, well, that's not possible, which is basically 7 to 8 Eastern time. And I'm like, well, I will be only there for a half an hour because I have a show to do on wisdom, and not even a few minutes before, because I was timing everything. I was right on time, looking at the clock until I saw something they showed me. I'm like, oh, Emma got interested about what was going on and lost track of time by a few minutes. It wasn't that much. It was like about by not even 5 minutes. Which is not bad, except I like to be on time. So for somebody who like to be on time, it could be what do you call it, irritating, but no, it wasn't. It was like, oh yeah, I'm late by a few minutes. The fun part was, and the interesting part was of it, it's like, one, he allowed Dr. Goodman and Dennis to basically create their show and be able to host it so people could come and join it, actually, which makes it easier. And that's what happened, because when I logged in, then I saw they were in the middle of a conversation with someone, which is like, cool, great, because at least the Q&A on Thursday will work just fine when they can do the host, they can host the show directly. And in the meantime, I got Ben calling me. I'm like, well, I'm going to drop off from Wisdom for a sec because I needed to talk to him, which we did. And this is where he asked me, he said, well, can you come and join me? And I'm like, well, I can do something even better. I said, why don't we do a pilot show directly? You start your show on Sunday night with me for the 2 hours. So you're going to be talking for 2 hours as a guest on the show, but it will be your show. And then you can continue and really start your talk on Monday, and I will be there as a guest for about 2 hours. And I said, let's do that. So for me, it's a privilege to be here and communicate. That's why I like that card, actually, because it's giving back. It's doing first circle. It's doing something that, to me, is a great way to help others to get them here and to a place where they're gonna, launch their show and do what they want to do. For me, it's a privilege in that way, which I don't like the word privilege because somebody called me privilege one day to just insult me. And it was just like, I don't like the word privilege because you cannot say anything else about me. You have to use the word privilege, otherwise that will be a bad thing because I'm not born here. But that was funny, actually, that day. It's very difficult when people want to say something negative about you and they are cautious on their words. So the word privilege was utilized, but that's okay. But, and that's still funny through these days, which it was like not even a month ago, 2 months ago that happened. And I'm like, oh, dear monkey, your business, people. If you're not happy in your life, I cannot help you, but be happy. Love yourself. But it's just so... being able to help people, especially, a lot of people can be listening to the shows and feel a little bit stressed, a little bit, whoa, I'm going to fall. I know, yeah, that was but now I say that, sorry. I'm like all over the place right now, like, what is going on? Am I normally put together? Well, I'm put together. Today is just Friday night. I'm just losing it up. It's like, oh my God. I will explain to you why I almost fell down. I have to remember that, actually. And that's the Walt Titi story. Then I forgot to share this one. No, in regards of Ben, for me, it's very nice because sometimes people want to start something and they don't know how to talk. They don't know. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to do it right. What am I going to say? What the structure, how I'm going to structure all of that. And being able to witness their journey, encourage them to step up to the plate and really host a show is the beginning. Like I mentioned to Dara, I said, one of the key, and that's why I love Wisdom, is the fact that our communication skills, when you're behind the microphone, changed a lot. Yes, it's great to be a guest. You pop in and out. It's great. You have a conversation with somebody. It's perfect. But when you're hosting it, it's kind of well, for me, I don't know, but it's kind of because it's the universe, and I'm like, I let the universe do it. So for me, it sounds maybe more natural, more, I don't know, more connecting and more organic, but I don't know. I popped on the front of the microphone and I said, I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but let's go and start to blah, blah. That's the typical thing from me. Unless I have something I need to talk about, and I will take some a little note at the end or at the beginning. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about this. But it's scary for some people because they don't know. They don't know, how am I going to be behind the microphone? What do I want to... I have a story to share, but I don't know how. Or I feel like I'm going to freeze myself first, or I'm going to structure it to a point that it sounds like a robot. So for me, having the privilege, quote unquote, to do that and see the great adventure that Ben is taking, it's awesome for me. It's exciting, actually, because it's... helping somebody to, or encourage somebody, or be there by their side when they do their first step. And like I said to him, I said, you start a conversation. It's a conversation. It's a simple conversation by sharing your story. I said, if you want to highlight some point, because sometimes when you want to share a story, you're going to, get your bullet points right there, and you elaborate on that. And you relaxed into it. That's the key. It's able to relax into it. Yeah, it's not easy. So if you don't relax and you're okay with drinking, I don't say you end up drunk, okay? Just have a little sip or something that will help you to relax. I'm not saying you have to drink the bottle, but sometimes it helps a little. Or do a little dance. I would say the first thing I would do would be a little dance. I will move my body and be relaxed. That's what I did when I started the podcast, because I'm like, what the freak I'm going to say? I have no idea. I'm like, holy crap, sitting on the front of the microphone. And it's a different feeling, because when you do your own podcast, you don't have an audience. You do it. I'm doing kind of in front of my computer, and I just have the software in front of me and everything runs, and I just chat, and that's it. So doing it and really being able, when you're live, when you know you have an audience, that can come up. You don't know who is going to come, whose person's going to ask to join the conversation. It's a little bit different. So to me, it's nice to be able to give it back and help people when they start their first show. If they ask me, then I will be more than happy to just say, yeah, I'm going to be helping you, because I feel that it will help to relax the person and how to start their show. Because the first step, the first day when you're in front of it, the first minute, it could be, what am I going to talk about? And that's exactly what I said when I sat down. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but we're going to talk about something. Let's go, universe. Everybody upstairs, ready to go. And that's what happened. It's like, okay, let's go. Let's have the flow of whomever wants to talk without fighting upstairs, come on stage and have a conversation. And again, like I mentioned to Ben, it's just a conversation with someone. It's nothing else than a conversation. Not easy, like you mentioned to me. Say, yeah, but there is nobody. I'm like, yeah, I know, but well, there's nobody's going to answer you back. No. I mentioned to him, I said, when I started, it took a couple months at least for people to come and join. And one was with Sammy. I was doing it with Sammy. And when Sammy was busy, well, people were not coming right away and having a conversation. They were like sitting in back and just like, okay, we're going to listen to the crazy lady, but we're not going to talk to her. We don't know what she's going to say next. So let's not make ourselves visible to her. You never know. She could do a reading on me. Oh, my goodness. I'm like, no, we're not doing a reading. Or I would pass a message if a message is necessary to be given. But otherwise, no, it's just enjoying ourselves, having a conversation, have different topics, listen to each other as much as possible, because that's a very good things to start to listen to each other the best that we can with a good attitude, even if sometimes it's not a good attitude, but it's just helping each other in a positive way. So to me, Sunday should be interesting. I have no idea what the topic is. The only thing I know, it's going to be a conversation with Ben, and he's going to start to share his story, his life. And that's going to be a great ride. So that's what it's all about, the ride. Then we're all going to have in these regards. So, yes, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. So we'll see what's going to happen. But I'm very, very proud of him to reach out to me. He was insane enough to reach out to me. No, he reached out to me for being his guest and be there. So it's going to be a humbling experience to see somebody take their first step as a host and just be there himself. Like I said, if you take the microphone, it's the first time you do a show, share your story and go messy, okay? We're not perfect. Take the attitude, I'm a student of life. I'm going to go with the flow. Whatever comes out of my mouth, I'm going to be mindful, but I'm not going to have an order. There is a moment, like I did, it feels like, oh, am I drinking? No, I don't. I'm just drinking my water, but yeah, you're gonna make a mistake when you're talking. You're gonna stumble. You're like, what the heck is going on with Emma? She's like, weird. No, I'm not. I just had a little, not even an hour nap on my entire day because I have other things to do and I need to be ready for the rest of the night too. Man's not gonna go to bed until 4 a.m. So we're good, at least. So, but that's the life. So I'm very happy about him and about his show, and I'm really looking forward. So it's going to be interesting. As I said, I'm just going to be the observer. I'm going to be the witness of his story. I probably will be asking questions about him, about situation he's going to share. It's going to be very interesting and extremely interactive, and I'm looking forward. That's another thing too. Then I asked to do his show because he's like me. He came from a different country. He moved here and he integrated himself. So that's one part of the integration. I probably will be live with him because we're going to be sharing stories, I believe so. But mine are 2 decades ago. His are about 5 years, 6 years ago when he came. So it's going to be very interesting to hear, the progression of how life is and what we saw, because there is always a difference. And it's not to point out in the wrong way to be here in the U.S. at all. It's just sharing the story, what we saw and what we experienced. And I think it's a very good eye-opener as well. It gives a better perspective from who we are to what we're observing here as well. Not in a bad way, because I always said if you don't like the country where you're in and you're always unhappy about it, then the option I always said, why don't you pick up your suitcase and go in the different countries and see where else you can fit better your life? That's my personal view on that. Because when you move from one country to the others, if it's temporarily, and the university is going to make me shift to Ukraine, I have a feeling, you adapt for a little bit. But when it's just temporarily. But if you move somewhere else permanently, but you're not happy, then you need to reassess where you need to go. Because if your anger is based on all of the changes you experience in life, and yes, from one country to another, and in the case of Ben, because he's in Kenya, if I'm correct, I think it is. It's a huge difference compared to me who's in Europe. Still, there is some changes. There is some stuff that, then we experience are similar. But there is a big changes in the culture. And that's what it's interesting to hear. It's just a difference. It's like different life. So it should be very interesting to learn how we grow up and see the life through somebody else's lenses and story. That's what I love. I said we always have a story to share and tell. And this is a great space here to do it. It's a place where we are safe enough to be able to express ourselves in a mindful way as much as possible, and just being able to share something that is that precious. So it's going to be interesting, very, very interesting to do that. So I like the Golden Palace. So people, Golden Palace, that card was for everybody. About what I just said about the Golden Palace. So yeah, World TT. I love my World TT. I'm obsessed about Walmart. And as I said, I will not get another tattoo. So no, I'm not going to. And I will, if I were getting another tattoo, it will certainly not be a logo of Walmart. Although I like that color blue, I like that color yellow because that represents Ukraine actually. But no, we're not going to do that, people. We're not going to do that. But I was at World TT because I thought I had one, but I think I got rid of it. So I bought another ball, a yoga ball, because I'm sitting on it. Spending so much time, and I always had problem. And I discovered this a few years ago, over 2 decades ago. Yeah, no, what was it? 2006, 2007? Yeah, something like that. Always had an issue with my lower back, and discovered this when I was working that, some people were sitting on balls. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. I want to try it. And I tried it, and it's so comfortable. So for years, and it's good for your abs, actually, and your booty and your legs. So if you want to do your core muscles, you can do it. Like I'm doing it when I'm talking to, because I'm moving the ball side, up and back and forward and backwards, which is awesome, until you fall down and you hurt yourself. That's not what I was doing it, by the way. I was just sitting myself, resetting myself and recentering myself when I just started to move. But I like those. So I went back to LTT and I got one. I forgot the rug. I had to buy a smaller rug for Daddy because I'm going to train her to find her little safe space. I have a big one, but I want her to sit on a smaller one that is more her size and suitable so she can feel safe. That's going to be her safety net. So I forgot that. But I like the balls. It's very so good for your lower back. I'm like, oh yeah. So that's why I was moving and almost fall down. Welcome to the Sea Show. Everything is crazy. Yes, it is, but we're enjoying it. A very good evening. That's what I love, an evening. A peaceful evening where the kids are upstairs sleeping, aka the pups, which is good. And it's been good. So good week. A lot to talk about the marketing and the websites. That was very interesting as well, especially those sessions during the day. I have more because I was talking with somebody today, this afternoon actually. Now Mac is barking, meaning he's calling me. He's just want to know where I'm at because that's what the boy does. He likes to boss people around. So, yeah, I was talking with somebody and I discovered she had plenty of material that we're going to turn into e-learning, actually. So there is quite a few things that I saw, and she has as topics, and I might be picking it up and teach and do sessions on wisdom, actually. So that's going to be interesting. I still continue to do the Let's Talk About Business. I will be part of Let's Talk About Business. I will continue to do my lead website generation. Yeah, Emma, not good. There is no generation need. Lead conversion equation and stuff like that. So I'm going to continue to talk about it and add a little spin into it. And I will probably modify. I have to look at what I'm going to have on my lead platform too to talk about. But continue to do those sessions because I think... Okay, well, I'm having a revolution upstairs with now Daddy. I like when Max stopped this because he's a little stinker. Daddy? Hey, guys. Are we having a revolution? Oh, now everybody's quiet. It's like, no, we're not talking anymore. Good. Hi, Dada. What are you doing? Are you just doing your own revolution asking? You're becoming a Mac? She has a tendency to copy Mac. So just to explain, she likes to copy Mac on some level. So it's quite funny. And Mac is, I don't know where he's at. Okay, where is your brother? Do you know where is your brother, Dada? No, we don't care. Okay, go get your brother. Yeah, go get your brother. So she's probably going to go get him. So, but no, she doesn't care, actually. She's not even going to get him. She's like, I don't care. And he's howling at the moon because he can't do it. That's his way to do it. So, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting to do a little bit more topics on business, on helping people to learn more about how to set up business as well and how to run a business. Because I mentioned, and it's so true, when you got an idea or a service or a product and you're so passionate about it and you're the master at your own field, you're doing it, you learn your product, you love your product, you can build it, you can innovate. It is very difficult for people, most people, to know how to run a business, the operation. When you do it on your own, it could be overwhelming to do everything, carrying multiple hats. But also, when it's starting to grow, one of the biggest difficulty is to really organize yourself in a way that can run smoother. And it's becoming difficult at time when the company wants to grow, the products is ready to go in the universe is like, we're going to push as much as we can because this is the right product for the people. Makes it more challenging when you don't know how. So that's, for me, one of the other things to do here on Wisdom is to be able to do that and share some of the basic and fundamental way for setting it up. Because if you don't set up a good foundation for your business, then you're running what I call it on ice, on a thin ice, basically. So it becomes monkey in a circus on its own, and it makes it harder. And learning to run it a smooth operation requires a lot of organization. And a lot of people don't have all of that. Because I remember my father, who was in a logging business, wasn't doing the operation in the back. He had no clue. That was my mom who had to learn. And I hopped on it. And I said I was, 14, 15, not even. When I was doing the accounting side of it, I was like doing the payroll, actually. I was interested to learn. I was bored to death. I'm like, I'm going to learn something. So she was doing it and she hated it. And it was all manual. There was no computer on the top of it. And I was doing it. And the funny part, actually, the funniest part of it is his employee realized that I was doing it. So they were checking to make sure there were no mistake. I am serious when I say that. And guess what? There were no mistakes. Everything was fine. So that works just great. But it was very, very interesting to deal with it and to do that. So learning, being open, learning. That's what I love, learning. That's a beautiful thing when we have the opportunity to learn from each other, to just enjoy a moment of peace. I like a moment of peace, and I've been getting it right now for the past hour. I love it. I don't know for you, but I love a moment of peace. It's like, whoa, life works a magical way. I love how perfect synchronicity works. I thought I was starting to talk about perfect synchronicity and what happened to me yesterday. So I'm going to go back to that story because I lost track on this one, I believe. My goodness, it's Friday night here. It's a good Friday night where, whoa, Emma, it's one of those days. Need to relax? Yes, I did. My brain is so relaxed. I just forgot to finish, I think, to tell the story. So perfect synchronicity works always great, especially when the universe wants you to move or modify things. So the example I'm going to finish to use is started actually a week ago when I realized that I was sitting. It was Saturday. I was sitting in a very calm space near the lake at the cabin, and I was just relaxed because I was just like, okay, moment of inventory to do. And our moment came when it's like, well, Emma, you're doing your podcast at the Sea Show, and you're posting it on your Podomatic, and nobody gives everybody is interested about those stories. So it's taking over what my regular podcast is, which is fine. I'm not complaining about it because actually that's awesome. And it gives more shows. Actually, I post and more shows now than I normally do because normally it's 3 times a week when I do my personal podcast. And I come to the conclusion, thanks to the universe, that you know what? You don't have to do your 3 during the week because you do it with the Sea Show and with the collaboration that I do on my personal podcast as well. And I'm like, okay, those 3 that I normally do by myself, which takes about 3 hours total a week to do those, then again, my, what do you call it? My time back. I'm like, okay, so it's opening other possibilities, which I'm looking forward to it because this is going to be awesome. That's about what my thoughts is on this one. And the most interesting part of it is like, okay, this opened the space. Yesterday was a very interesting one because the universe was showing me something similar to it. This time was, for me, because I was sidetracked for a sec and not on time to start the Sea Show with Dr. Goodman. Then they took over, which was great because he opened not only for me the time to do not be there, but being able to do other things as well. Make them go on the stage for the Q&A, which to me is critical because if you're looking at it very closely, somebody came on stage and talk. And sometimes if you don't have that space to be able to communicate and only do it because we need to do via messaging and stuff like that, when you start a conversation with somebody and you have a question, it makes it easier if you have a full conversation with that person, because generally the first question will lead to another question, will lead to another question. So it would make it harder if, one, you do it via direct messaging because you will answer only what you get as a question. So you don't engage with the person with the conversation, which you're missing at that point. And 2, because we were talking about, Dr. Goodman was talking about, I can go on stage, I can go off stage. And I'm like, yeah, but you're breaking the flow of the conversation. And if somebody has a question, they don't want to wait 5 minutes for you to go back on, off, back and forth. So the universe was showing me something. I'm like, okay, that gives me some time. That gives them the stage to be able to connect with people directly, which I like it even better. So changes like that happen for a reason, but you have to become the observer for a minute and realize this and just say, whoa, that's a great option. What I have right now, it's opening the floor and it's perfect for what we're intended to do. if we had the like I mentioned to Dio earlier this week, if we had the capability to have a third guest, to add a third guest here, it will help when we do collaboration, but we don't. So for me, that intimate situation than we are when we are just the host and the guest become better when it's a one-on-one and able to start that conversation. It's all about the communication. It's all about starting the conversation and answering the question, because when you start with one question, it can go to a further conversation that will help the people listening as well. So for me, yesterday was an awesome moment with all of the crazy and the madness. And I'm like, that's perfect. That gave me more time, which I'm going to need it, because now I have more stuff coming my way, more projects. And I'm like, holy moly, piling up like there's no tomorrow. And I'm like, good. That gives me time to be in the background, not on a stage at that point, and rest my voice for a minute if I can. But I think it gives a better opportunity and a hybrid version of our show. So like I mentioned before, the shows we're going to be doing, we'll continue to do those shows the way we're doing on Tuesdays. So I will still co-host the show, and with I'm answering this thing with Dr. Goodman and his beautiful wife. And on Thursday, they are the one who's going to be hosting the Q&A, which I absolutely love. So that's perfect. Okay, little funny story. Don't know if it happened to you, but I would like to hear some feedback, because this is the worst thing ever in one way. If you're looking for an insurance quote, have you ever gone on a web and start to search for, the allegedly quotes and compare the quotes? I would like to know from you guys. I'll give a sign of life, or tell me you're alive somewhere over the rainbow. Because I was looking for quotes, not from me, for somebody else's. And it seems like you go from one website to another, to another, to another. So by the time you're down to even attempt to see a quote, which you don't, you get about 100 phone calls from a bunch of psychotic people. They want to give you a quote, or they are hustling you actually to try to sell you something when you ask for a simple quote. This has been happening since yesterday or something like that, the day before, and I use both of my phone numbers, my business and my personal. It has been insane. It's like, are you kidding me? And it's nonstop. Like, you get people calling you about 10 times, and you're like, but I told you the person is unavailable. But they go cuckoo for Cocoa Puff, and they don't care. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is wrong with you people? But I noticed that I never realized that before in the old days. They used to, I would say, well, they will let you know, automatically online. You could find it right away online, the quotes and everything you needed. But here it's becoming absolutely insanely ridiculous how many websites, because it's all like a boot. So you ask for one thing and you get 200 things coming towards you, and you're like, what is wrong with that picture? How insane is that? And you go from one website to the other, and you end up with 100 people calling you. It's like, what is wrong with you? I just wanted a quote. I don't want to talk to you. I just wanted a simple quote to compare so I can look at it. But it seems like people are, whomever creating those websites, are horrible. Oh, yeah, you can find a cheaper quote here, but it is not a cheaper quote. They make you go to some absolutely insane, and they don't give you the quote. It's very, very rare. I saw maybe out of all of the quote I wanted to see, I saw only one, to be honest with you. The rest, they call you right away. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And you cannot even escape the not giving you your phone number. So it is just insane for a quote for insurance. I'm like, oh my God, this is big business for people to come and harass you. Or you got one company you talk to and it's like, no, I'm not interested. And not a minute later, you get somebody else's from the same company calling you. It's like, oh my God. So insurance are becoming very interesting, especially when you ask for a quote and you cannot even get a quote. It's like, oh my God. So I've been laughing about it because I'm like, oh my goodness. And when I, put the phone number and stuff like that, the person in question who knew wanted the quote had about the same thing, 100 phone calls, one after one after one after one. And people, it's like, when you feel harassed by somebody doesn't want to stop calling you, that's about the same way. Some of those companies will try to call you so many times. Oh my God, this is so bad. It's hilarious in one way, but it's so bad. It's like, oh, are you kidding me? Seriously. But that's very, very interesting. I love that when they're crazy. You said, I just want a quote. I don't want anything else. And they never give you a quote. So if you're looking for insurance, just be careful because you end up in a maze of website one after one after one after one, and they go crazy. So they're going to be taking actually your information, and I'm sure they're reselling this to somebody else's, so they're making money off of you, and some weird people are going to be trying to sell you something even worse. But very interesting. It's like, oh my goodness, are you serious? So that's the life of 1,000 here. We're not bored with the insurance. And I talk about bundling in my session. I'm going to talk about something else in my session with those guys. It's absolutely hilarious and insane. Seriously, it's like, oh my goodness, people, come on. So, but that's like fascinating to me. I don't know. It's the life of 1,000 in my book here. And it's only Friday night on the seashore. The boy came. Hi, Mike. Okay, Mike came quietly here, which normally he likes to make himself known and he likes to let know people he's here, but he's now laying down quietly near me and he has one of his tennis ball. Then I got him and the tennis ball. See, this is one thing I should do, and I'm going to do some research because companies who do toys for the dogs, I need to have my dogs do the quality quality check on their toys, because my dogs, and they're a cute dog, but they can destroy a toy in less than 5 minutes. You give them the toys, Mike will find a way to tear it apart piece by piece. That's his love of toys, and those are his babies. So there was 2 weeks ago? That was 2 weeks ago, something like that. We went to PetMart. It was so cold. I'm like, we need to take the pop-up somewhere. So PetMart is always a great place to take them. I did not realize, actually, on a Sunday, they were doing an open clinic, and I think it was to vaccinate the dogs, or I don't know if it was a free one or a lower cost, but a lot of people were lining up over there to get their dogs vaccinated, which is good. Actually, it's a very good thing. And I took the toy. I took the toys. I didn't took any toys, actually. We went to the toy aisle. It's like the kids. If you take a kid and you said, okay, you drop them off on the front of the toy aisle, and you say, okay, you're gonna go and pick one. And the kid run in there like he did. He was like, okay, I got toys. The poor boy got so overwhelmed by the different toys and he could pick and choose. Seriously, I watched him doing it. I was laughing because it's like, oh, I look at this one. I like this one, but I'm not sure I'm going to maybe pick up the other one. So we end up with this little gator. Then he won it at the end. So I picked up two, even though I knew Daddy will not take it. But I always take two for the both of them. And I got some ball from, I don't know. He has the brand near him. I think it's King. I don't know. There is a brand of toys that is very popular. Kong. That's the Kong. Very popular for dogs. And I took the tennis balls. They were in sales. I'm like, perfect. I'm not spending $7 on a tennis ball. Then in less than 5 minutes, they're going to destroy. Believe it or not, that's the only brand so far. And I use tennis ball. I use different brand for dogs on tennis balls. In less than an hour, they will shoot a thing out of it. They will basically pierce the entire ball, deflated. It's quite hilarious to watch them doing it. Well, this one, they have not deflated. They have not, Mike kind of attempted to destroy one of them, but they are all in a good shape. The boy cannot destroy them. That's awesome. And when I went over there, that was a couple of days ago, I needed some wet food for the boy because normally they eat dry food, but I'm going to be able to convert him back to the dry food. And I got some bigger one and I didn't know. I never remember when I picked them up the first time what size they were. So I think there was the medium and the bigger one, and I gave him the bigger one. And I don't know how he does it. He can put it in his mouth, which is too big for him. Dada can't, but he can. It's quite funny to watch him. And he dropped the ball and he picked it up and he dropped the ball, but he doesn't care. It's like, I don't care. It's bigger than my mouth. I'm going to put it in there and travel with it. So him and his little toys work this time around. That's probably the only toy that I have that's still alive. The rest, it's not looking that great, not looking good. God needs a little love, but they are doing good with that. That's the only toy that he has not destroyed seriously, and I got a bunch of them. Sam, it's always fun. I need to get another toy actually, which is a puzzle. So if you have a pet, a dog, I don't know how they do for cat. They might be doing for cat, but I don't know. And I started to buy those puzzles, and I put, so they have to figure it out how to lift it up or how to push one of the piece because there's something hiding underneath. And the one I got was a little bit more complicated. They were the first top, I put it, well, first there was one that you have to push with your nose for the dog with their nose to move the piece, and on the top of it there was a cover that I put it where you could eat the first. So there were two things hidden, three actually, treats hidden, and it has to push first from one side to the others to unlock them. And on the top of it, of that, you could place one treats, and you had a cover. So when I did this one the first time, I watched them doing it, okay, both of them, because they're doing it in the same time. And Mac, after a minute, he's like, I don't give a crap. I'm going to use my teeth and I'm going to start to hold that piece. And he did. He lifted up. Daddy wasn't using her teeth. She was using her nose. But Mac is like, I'm cheating. I'm going to use my teeth to lift it up, which he did. And it took him a while to figure it out. Even though he was using his paws, because he likes to use his paws as well, to unlock and push back and forth to get the other treats. But I have to figure out another puzzle because now they know how it works. But I like to watch them doing it because it's quite funny, actually. It's entertaining to watch them and see how clever they are. So sometimes he will observe what his sister does, then replicate, or he will try to cheat and just try to take the toys, those puzzles in his mouth to see if he can shake it out. Would I remove it and make it even faster for him to get the treats? Because it's not. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm using the word treats, and the boy doesn't care. I am surprised he's asleep. Wow. Generally, when you say this word, the boy is straight up or starting to run in the kitchen, ready to go by the treats area where he knows the treats are. But right now he's sleeping, and I can say the word treats. You have no idea. It's like Christmas time for me. The boy is totally out. That's awesome. You have no idea when you're dealing with a boy like that. He's a walking stomach. He loves to eat. That's another thing of him. But I think it's the rescue. Because what he happened to his life for the first 7 months of his life, where he was such in a bad condition, and I believe he wasn't fed at all. So every time there is some food, trust me, the boy will do you the googly eyes, the lovely, lovely, bubbly eyes that you'll stinker to just sway you to give him your food. And he does. It doesn't work with mama, even though sometimes I'm like, really, don't do that. But the way that boy is, it's amazing. So I love those kids. I love my kids, even though they make me do the walk of shame. The doggy daycare. Till, as I said, it's going to happen sooner or later. They're going to call me and say, you take your brats out of here. They're out of control. They're starting at a riot within the pen. And I thought Daddy would not. That's funny. So she run the floor. I cannot believe she did actually run the floor, knowing that she always liked to be by her brother. I thought she would have maybe tried to destroy the fence, jump on the other side down the pen to know where Mike is or do something like that. No, they were running back and forth and creating trouble. Whoops. That runs in the family. What can I say? I should be proud of them. I am actually. It's just insane. So, but everybody is quiet. So how everybody is doing? Because nobody wants to talk to me for some reason. What is wrong with you people? Come on board here. Have a little conversation with me for a minute. I know, I'm having fun. I know, I'm just having a little too much fun. But yeah, that's the way things run around here. Just enjoying a moment of peace, have fun, and enjoy a great day. You know, sometimes you need a little break. Sometimes you need a little love. Sometimes you need a little time, a quiet time. Sometimes you need a little madness. But it's always at the end of the day how we feel, if we feel good or not. And I hope everybody had a good week or a good day. If not, then try to find the silver lining. That's what I would say. Try to find the silver lining. That's what it should be. And when you do that, it makes your life a whole more easier. But find your goal, find the silver lining, find what you're doing, and enjoy the life of 1,000. It's always a life of transformation. It's a life of peace. It's a life of fun. It's a life of madness. It's a life of what in the world are we doing? But it's always a moment of peace, and it's always a great way for all of us to live our life to the fullest. As I said, I love this app. It's a very good app, good people in this app. And it's always great to be listening wonderful conversation from anyone coming here. The amazing journey of 1,000 as well, for me, is the journey of transformation we're going through, and being able to open ourselves up to the fullest, being happy, joyful, and really enjoy every single moment we've got. That to me is the most wonderful, wonderful way. So if you're feeling a day is not a great day, find a way to ground yourself, find a way to be able to open yourself up, and just for a moment bring peace within your heart. I don't know why I said that, but the universe wants to say that. So we are saying this. So, but yeah, this is a great day. Nobody wants to talk. Ooh, I have shy people tonight here. Come on, you should not be shy. Seriously, not at all. This is the journey of transformation. This is where we are, where we need to be, and where we're gonna be. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to relax for a little bit longer. We're going to be here for a little longer. Ooh, we could maybe, because nobody wants to talk to him. So the Golden Palace Bio is for you guys. If somebody wasn't there first, that's a card that I picked. I'm doing this actually on Fridays. I like to do that. Not only on Fridays, but once in a while I have my 2 decks of cards here. And then I normally, because I don't use those for, if I do intuitive readings or if I do readings, I don't use tools. I don't need to do that. It's nothing cocky about it, by the way, when I'm saying that. It's not part of what I do, but I learn from, because I like Colette Baron Reid, and I do take some classes, which I do some masterclass with her. And one of the skill sets when you're an intuitive, this is my view, okay? Not everybody. Emma's view. Even though we are all masters in our own right and in our own discipline, I like to continue to expand my skill set. And even though I don't use those professionally, I liked this as a student of life, because to my point of view, we're all student of life. We're all here to learn, to embrace, to learn, to discuss, to communicate, to be who we truly are, to discover every single hidden skill set we got. And in order to do that, this is where we learn not only from trials and tribulation, because this is what we got to do. Trials and tribulation show us our humanity, show us who we truly are, and show the resilience, the strength, the love, the healing power of peace, but also can show us by being the student of life, by learning skill sets from others. And that's what I like with Colette Baron Reid. So her cards are amazing, actually. That's one of the biggest things as well for me. It's her cards are freaking amazing. The design on it is beautiful. The message, the one I was reading, have something for everybody, and will resonate. So there may be a sentence. It doesn't need to be the entire. When I read the messages, it's for people to to listen to it, and whatever resonates, it is for you. So I'm going to pull another card for tonight for everybody. And what do we need to know? And what we need to know for our highest good for the weekend. What is the focus? Whoa, this is awesome. I love it. Here's another good one for the weekend for everybody. Here's your little forecast. We're going to call it the forecast like she normally said. So the first one for tonight was the Golden Palace, which is there is always enough, which is a good thing. And the other one is peaks of joy. So for you this weekend, guys, you need to focus on that, the peaks of joys. That to me is awesome. So that to me is a great message. So what it said, it's all upright cards because reverse will be what we call it protection card, meaning you need a little bit more love from the universe. Doesn't mean anything else than you need a little bit more of love from the universe. But they are all upright cards, which is beautiful. Your life is filled with happiness, so share it with others. Joy is yours today. No matter what you're incurring, you will be happy with the result. You're coming closer to a sense of achievement and you worked hard to it or for it. You're surrounded by true companions and events that are synchronistically arranged to bring you to the next level of your life. Wow, I was just describing you some right there before, a few minutes ago, which is so true. The world is singing a beautiful harmony. Life is exhilarating and hopeful. Let gratitude fill your heart and remember to share your happiness. Joy is contagious. So, even through trials and tribulation, maybe we don't feel we're in the right place right now because we're in the middle of metamorphosis, which is transformation, which is 1 feet in where we are, and the other one into the future, quote unquote. We can find a movement of joy and be grateful and thankful for what we have. We can take a moment to reconnect with our loved one and our family. And realizing that, I love this actually when she wrote, you're coming closer to a sense of achievement and you've worked hard for it. And you're surrounded by true companions and events that are synchronistically arranged to bring you to the next level of your life. That is a direct message for people, for everybody, including me. That's mean what we're doing, how we're transforming our lives, what the changes we're experiencing is to bring us to the next level. Like I just explained about my podcast, I'm stopping 3 hours of podcast. I'm going to do my collaboration, which takes about 2 hours actually. So I have one next week. I have 3 that I have to do. One is scheduled. I need to schedule the others, and I'm going to do it. Sometime next week, I need to reconnect with people and make sure that I got them on my scheduler, actually, to be able to do that. But when you're realizing that all of this takes place, then it's amazing to see the life of 1,000, life of transformation, what we're able and capable to do, and how much more we can achieve in our lives. It is amazing to see that. It is amazing. It's a humbling experience, and that experience is our experiences. So that's why when we're capable to do that and appreciate and have peak of joys, it doesn't mean you're going to have to be singing off the top of your lungs, but it's just being grateful and appreciate what we've got, taking the time to be present in our lives. It's an amazing state of mind to be present in our lives. And quite a few people don't know how to be present in their lives because they're always on the run. By the way, I do that too. So, yay. That goes with me as well. Yes, it does. But it's amazing. And as I said, we are in a position, in a place of discovery, a place of love, a place of changes, a place of welcoming what's coming next to us and being able and capable to embrace all of those changes. That's the most impressive things we can do for our own life. So those are good cards, actually. Golden Palace and the Peaks of Joys for the weekend. This is our forecast. And I hope you guys will have a good weekend, because regardless of where we are, take a minute for your own self. Take a minute to be with your family. Be present. And stop social media maybe for an hour. Don't be on social media, including wisdom. Take the time to connect with everyone. And it is always, it's, I love to be on Wisdom. I love to listen to Wisdom, but I even I turn off the notification because it gives me time to focus on other things. But I always like to go back there and watch who's there, listen to it. Even last night, actually, that was funny. I have to find her last name. She's from England, and the funniest is, as I was ready to, yeah, I was almost done. Actually, I wanted to go back home. It was like about 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was funny. I turned on the phone. I was I was listening to music, European radio as well, and I stopped it and I said, okay, let's see what there is on Wisdom. And I had a young lady, very, very nice. And I love the British accent. Those guys, my favorite one is the Aussie, but the British accent has this je ne sais quoi. It's always fun to listen to them talking. And there was a young lady, and her name was Emma. And I could not resist because I'm like, okay, Emma's going to talk to Emma. So I popped on hers for a few minutes. It was quite. She's a very, very, very beautiful spirit. But it was funny because I said, "So hi Emma, this is Emma talking. How you doing?" And we started to laugh because I'm like, "Yeah, what would be the odd that at 1 o'clock in the morning you get somebody named Emma talking on a phone?" And via Wisdom. But it was fun. It was a very interesting conversation she had, and she was on her way to go to work, and she was driving at that point. But it was very nice, good conversation, good connection. So it's nice to be able to connect with people around the world. It's nice to be able to say something that will lift up somebody else's spirit. And it was very, very interesting. So it was a good, like, 5-10 minutes chat with her. But I don't know her last name, but her name is Emma. So if you came across somebody who's a British, very cute person, listen to her. So it was a very good person, but again, very late night as well because it's 6 hours different from the US for their time zone from where I'm at here. It could be 5 hours actually in the East Coast. But very, very interesting, fun things to do, connecting with people around the world. And that doesn't cost you a penny because if you don't know that, especially here in the US, they make you pay the phone call by the minute. And it could be extremely expensive because they add the tower fee on the top of it. And you're like, are you freaking serious, people? And when people call you from Europe or other countries, they pay nothing. And you're like, whoa, there's something wrong here. I use a lot Skype, actually. I used to Skype a lot because it costs me nothing. I'm like, I don't want to pay the phone bill that high, that expensive for the fee for the tower. I'm like, that was the most insane thing. I'm like, I'm paying a fee, people, but the other one over there, they don't pay anything. What's wrong with that? Just amazing here. It's all about business. Like I said, money is money is money is money, but that's all good. We are enjoying it, a moment of peace, and still nobody wants to talk to me. Everybody, are you mad at me, people? Nobody wants to talk to me. Like I see Daniel, I see Cece right here. It's like, come on board. I know I'm entertaining, but come on. I would like to talk to a human. Jenner, I have not heard from you actually. So by the way, I received your email, Jenner. I like to do conversation, so I'm going to talk to you, Jenner, right now. Maybe I'm going to challenge you to come and talk to me this way. That may be going to work. I'm looking for the script. That should be an interesting things to listen to read first before I talk about Cassini. And Jenner is not going to talk to me. Jenner is going to ignore me right now. So Jenner is doing something, and I don't know if you ever heard his music, which is amazing, actually. It reminds me of Jean-Michel Jarre. And he's a composer and a producer as well. And he had something. We're working on a project, and I'm waiting for it, actually. The Journey of Cassini, which is a spacecraft that was Jupiter, I think? I forgot. And don't blame me if I got the wrong planet. But its journey was to go and take pictures of the planet, actually, and self-destruct itself before it went into the atmosphere, so it would not damage or disturb the planet, which is awesome. So the music is amazing because I heard a part of the music which was beautiful and remind me of Jean-Michel Jarre. That was the big deal for me. I was amazed by it. And the fun part of it is not only this, but it's the fact that he's writing the journey. So he's writing a script, and he asked me to record it, which I would be more than happy. So I'm very curious to know where he's at with this. So I don't know if Jenner's going to pop in. Probably it's not going to pop in. I'm ignoring you, Emma. I'm not talking to you anymore. I am gone like the wind. I'm not going to be on stage, which is a teaser because knowing Jenner, it's I'm very surprised he has not happened yet because generally if I challenge him, he does. Nobody wants to be challenged today. I don't know why. Why people you don't want to be challenged? You don't come here and talk to me. Because I said, Ben's coming on Sunday, so I'm excited about Ben. So that's going to be an awesome thing happening Sunday. Really looking forward to talk to him. It's going to be beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I don't know. It's a very, very strange moment right now. Everybody's doing crickets on Emma. Emma's going to cry. Everybody's doing crickets. Maybe I should poke at my pop-ups and say, oh my, people are mean to Mama. Nobody wants to talk to her right now. It's sad. No, it's not. But it's another Friday night. What can I say? So I don't know. It's just beautiful. It's just a moment of peace. I have behaved on Tweet, I think. I don't know. I spent so much time since last Saturday on Tweet. I've been more vocal in a peaceful way on Tweet. I just hope, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's going on over there, but I hope we can find peace in this world. That's the only thing I hope. But you know what? Who knows with it's just a good thing going on over there at all. I wish that this would stop, but with prayers and positivity, hopefully. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Volodymyr Zelensky, so the president addressed to tens of thousands of Georgians gathered to support Ukraine. Well, you know, people, this is what it's all about. It's about the freedom. It's about living in peace. And to me, his fight is everybody else's fight. This mad lunatic is not going to stop at Ukraine. And to me, discarding people, discarding who they are, and not recognizing, actually, it's not even discarding, it's not recognizing who they are because you think they don't exist or you think it's whatever in your mind, to me is not good. It's, you know, that we had suspended BBC News operation in Russia until we assess impact of new laws which outlaw independent journalism. Wow. That is crazy. Thought with colleague in Moscow whose voice cannot be silenced for long. It's terrible when you see the oppression of what one person can do to others. Freedom of speech, even if we don't agree with everything, we have the opportunity. And this is what I talked about, the being on wisdom. A lot of people have an issue with communication. So being able to be on wisdom and talk opens your throat chakra. And that is one of the chakras that, with the heart and others, can be tight and shut down. How often, and it's not a correlation with the war, but we can be in a very difficult relationship. We are unable to express ourselves. And that feels like we're building up that anger, that resentment, to be, because we cannot express ourselves when we see others being able to do so. But it's very sad to me when you see oppression because people are trying and they will never work. The worst part in this entire crazy thing is oppression doesn't work. Trying to stop communication doesn't work. It doesn't. Never will. Never will. It might seem for whomever is doing this that even in Prague, so a lot of people are in the street. Oh my God, it's a sea of people. It's beautiful in Prague, everywhere. It's terrible to see that people try oppression and not allowing people, even ourselves, because, Ukraine is, Russia has shown, unfortunately, the people in Russia and other countries have had endure so many of these kind of things that if they speak, that they put their life, their freedom, if they have any, what you consider, in danger. And it's very sad to see that people cannot talk freely, because not all of them is going to be saying bad thing. They just want to be able to express themselves and their viewpoint for what they see. Even here, and you're looking at a relationship, and I'm talking about emotional relationship where you feel like you're trapped. You cannot talk because somebody is or has overpower of you, and that to me is a very difficult one. Or when you feel like you're not visible, so it's also the fact that when you feel you're not visible, and a lot of people feel they're invisible to everyone because nobody hears them. And having the capability to be here today and talk on wisdom is, I don't want to use the word privilege because I don't like that word privilege. After people call me privilege, I'm not privileged, people. I'm just one human being, but a stubborn one too, actually. But realizing that we cannot and we should not be oppressed to be able to speak. And some people don't know how to. And to me, wisdom is a great tool for people who don't know how to learn how to communicate. Communication is one of the skill set we should all know how to do. And I continue to do it because for me, I'm not perfect in my communication. I'm certainly not. I'm a student of life. So that's my excuse and I will stick with it for the rest of my life. But you can improve yourself when you're able to communicate. Feeling in this environment where we are here, it's like a safe bubble. So it's helpful when you feel the safety. That safety then we all are seeking for, and being able and comfortable to speak up. But quite often, if you go to different companies and businesses, there are some people who feel invisible. It's the same if you're in high school. Some of the kids are feeling invisible and not heard. Same at home. You can feel invisible and not heard, which makes it very difficult. But you cannot, one man trying to manipulate communication and make it his own story will never work. People have tried. I have been surrounded, and my father was the biggest one, actually. He was a freaking bona fide liar. Oh my God. His stories were like, holy crap. And he would make everybody drink his Kool-Aid. But sooner or later, the Kool-Aid turned sour, and truth always prevailed. So for me, watching what's going on over there, it's horrifying because it's close to home, because it brings my legacy and who I come from and where I come from and who the people were and fight for freedom. But it also showed, like I said, humanity at its best, because the power of love will always win. And I think that's Daryl who said that to me. He said, we are part of a wave, and the wave, part of the humanity and the love, will wash off everything, and it always does. So communication, being able to express ourselves without, as much as possible, screaming and yelling, because otherwise people are not going to be listening to us, is a way for us to communicate in a way that should be done mindfully, even though maybe our outer conditions are not as beautiful than we wish they are. But if we're capable to keep that throat chakra open, it will help us to be grounded. Because when you feel invisible, when you feel that nobody is seeing you, it's very frustrating unless you want to become invisible. That's another thing too, because I've done that. I've done the Sleeping Beauty for a while, but it worked until the universe kicked my ass and said, well, Emma, that's cute, but this isn't what we want you to do, so you're not going to disappear and becoming invisible. But it helps when you do that to really look at yourself and be able to challenge yourself. That's why I love wisdom for that reason. It's to be able to talk, to be able to continue to be here, give the strength, the hope, and share stories. And there is some days it's like, what kind of crazy story do you have? And it's like, well, some days there have some crazy story that maybe doesn't make a lot of sense, but maybe somebody will get it one way or the other, or it will questions or make you think about some few things that nobody would ever talk about. But we're in a place right now, we should be able to communicate better. So that's why I shut down Twitter right now, because the fight of this man for his freedom, it's not only for his freedom, it's the freedom of his people, because they are human, they are Ukrainian, they are somebody, we are all somebody. And no one should be feeling that because of hatred or whatever is his problem to the other madmen over there, discard an entire country. You don't discard a country just because you think they are nobodies, because they are somebodies. They just want to live in peace. Nobody asks anything else. They are not even there to start a war. They don't care. They just want to live in peace in their own home. And right now, what we've got is a lunatic who's not letting peace do its work, and again, through lies and deceits. But what is also so true is the people from Russia who are showing support, even though, again, I just read this, that so CBS or BBC or whatever, I thought it was CBS, who they shut down now, or way of communication. So he's becoming basically another tyrant, trying to filter information and blocking his own people to know the truth. The problem is when they start this, even in North Korea, actually, information still go into the country, no matter what. Information goes out of the country, no matter what. Maybe not at the speed that the rest of the world would like to know, but it's still going in. It's like that dripping water that never stop, that never end. And that's what it's all about. It's about being able and capable to realize that you cannot stop information. You cannot stop the communication. You can try, you can isolate, but it will never work. There is so much at stake right now, and with prayers and positive thoughts, we can, like I mentioned a week ago, we started on I cannot be there. I wish I would be there, because I would have been, first of all, part of the convoy for the animals first, because that would be one thing I would be doing, like Poland has been doing it. They've been retrieving hundreds of animals. They've been helping people to reconnect with their animals, which to me is one of the most beautiful things that could ever happen, because for me, it will kill me if I couldn't take my dogs with me. That's something I will stay behind, because I will stay with my dogs. I probably will go around the neighborhood and try to help the other animals too. I will start my own Arche de Noé, and that would be it in my book. But it starts home. And to me, everything should start with ourselves. So not being able to be there physically doesn't stop me to start something here, meaning you can help financially, you can, in a lot of countries and cities over Europe, and not only over Europe, because you have Israeli team who are traveling over there, medical team, to help them, which to me is the most beautiful thing people could do. It's helping each other. Or you can, there is, I don't know here what we're doing, but I do know, because I'm more focused and more over there than I'm here in my heart, in my mind as well, because the universe transport me over there. But I see a lot of good things, because a lot of people are sending things for food for animals. There is huge companies over there are doing it, and for humans as well. And it's beautiful to see the humanity at its best working right now. So what we can do from our side, if somebody asks me, and I already said it without anybody asking me, is start to do the same thing, living in peace. I don't care if I don't like my neighbor. I don't give a crap about the neighbor. I'm going to let it go, because that anger that maybe I have with the neighbor, which I don't, by the way, I might have, it's insignificant. If you can start to live in peace in your own neighborhood, guess what happened? It's have a ripple effects. And a lot of people don't understand. You're influencing your outer condition, and people are going to start to pick it up. If they pick up how you're acting, then the people around you are going to do the same thing. It's the ripple effects when the stone goes on, when you play with the stone and you throw them on the surface of the water, and it starts to hit one time, the second time, the third time is going into the water. But the ripple effects, you can see the water moving further and further from the impact of the stone. That's what we should be doing. That's what it's all about, living in peace. You don't have to be bickering with a lot of people. Ignore them. Learn to live side by side with people. It doesn't mean we have to be best friends. It doesn't mean we're going to have breakfast and lunch and dinner here at my place. But it's be courteous and leave your space. Clean up your space and mind your own business. If we all were able to do that, my God, the world would be a better place. We'll not have a lunatic like that who's just doing some stupid things he should not be doing. But again, he's going to pay the price like they all did. Ask Hitler, ask Mussolini, ask Oliver Franco. It didn't went well for them, isn't it? At the end of the day, they pay a higher price. This time, it's a different world. This time, there is humanity. There is something more powerful that we finally got it right. We finally got something right out of it. But it's still heartbreaking to see that such a tyrant, and that was just a matter of time with this lunatic, because it's like, yeah, that guy was just a ticking bomb, and is now taking and blocking his own people. So hopefully, it's not hopefully, it is going to happen. We're going to come to peace, no matter what. Peace will always prevail. But right now, it's trials and tribulation. Is to see how people are acting. And I've seen some stuff actually, even on LinkedIn. I was surprised. I said something in there, and nobody said anything wrong about what I said, which was good. I was like, it's about peace and love here, people. So you don't go after it. But I saw some other posting from other people. That wasn't pretty. I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with you people? But again, it's not my monkeys, not my circus. It's just to a reality that not everybody thinks the same way. Some people don't even care. Literally, they don't care. And I'm like, well, that's okay. It's your prerogative to don't care. But this fight over there has a significance, and the significance is huge. It's freedom, because it doesn't stop at one country at this point. It's impacting everybody. And it's showing the behavior, because the behavior of the people from Ukraine is worth 1,000. They have done things even for soldier when they are basically taking them prisoner. Then they feed them properly. Wow, amazing. And they can access the phone to talk to their family. Whoa, first time ever I'm hearing this. Wow. And they want the deceased one to go across back to their family. Amazing. Wow. They are not here. They are showing a great example of peace. And to me, it's a reflection of all of us and what we should be doing, living in peace. And if you don't like your neighbor or whomever you don't like, just cut the cord, let it go. Mind your own business. Lose the power. Lose the power you're giving them over you. Just walk away and heal. You'll be a better person at the end of the day, because you will learn truly to live in peace. And that's something we need to do. But it's going to take a lot. And I am ruling for Ukraine, because I'm a pro-Ukraine at this point. I'm for freedom. And I will stand up for freedom at any given time. It is not right to what's going on, but it has to happen to show humanity. Those kind of big world events have, unfortunately, we all go through our life lessons, and this is one of them. Not the one I wanted to see. As I said, when I grew up, I didn't want to see that. I don't. And I am witnessing it. That was one of my biggest fears, witness a war like that so close to me. That is something I didn't want to see. As a kid, it was my fear. When they took the Berlin Wall down, holy crap. That's why I sat down and I'm like, F. And I said S after word. And I'm like, we're in deep, dude. Well, Russia is coming at the door right here, right now. I said, there's going to be a nutcase here. Who's going to be here, coming here? This is the highway straight to come here. Well, that's why we have that going on right now. That's why the way they are treating things to me has been amazing. And hopefully, this ding dong, maybe he should eat a ding dong. Maybe he will feel better afterward. Maybe I should send him a box of ding dong at the Kremlin over there just to eat one. Maybe that will make him feel better. It would be maybe an idea. But he needs to take a chill pill, or somebody over there needs to do something, because that cannot continue. The persecution and what he's doing is wrong. And that doesn't give anyone's right to do this kind of thing at the bigger level or at the small scales. Leave people alone. Live in peace. Learn to cultivate the peace. Learn to cultivate your own business. That's what I would say. Mind your own business. When you do this, and I love to mind my own business, that's one thing that I love to do, I can accomplish so much more. Oh my God, more opportunities, more things happening. It's so much more fun to do than staring at the path because I want everybody else's to be in a bad mood, or I want to poke at the bear for nothing. I have something else better to do. I want to accomplish more stuff in my life. I want to do more things. I'm more excited on working on projects than I wasn't even a week ago, and it's piling up like there is no tomorrow. It's fun to do different things. It's fun to learn different things. And you learn from each other by respecting each other. And yes, you're going to be challenged. And peace is one thing. Being at peace. I can tell you that because I have a feisty, hot temper. So yes, but through ways of meditation, listening some great mantras, dancing, having fun, do a lot of things. You can calm yourself down. You can recenter yourself. You can see others in a different light. And again, you don't have to be best friend to be side by side. Or even when I used to work in corporate, there are some people we didn't get along. It was like my freaking nemesis right here. I'm like, holy crap. But I could care less. I'm like, I'm here to work and I go home. So I don't leave here. So I'm fine. If I have to work with somebody I don't get along with, I will work. I will focus on the work, not on that person, but the work that I have to accomplish. And that will, be it. Been there, done that. But that's the best attitude you can ever get because you don't give powers. Your powers are yours, not somebody else's. So for everybody who's listening tonight, well, have a good night, guys. Enjoy who you are. Have a peak of joy during the weekend. And remember, the golden palace is yours, meaning you always have enough. And how hard of a work you're doing to accomplish something, you're going to bear the fruit very soon. Or if you just started to do it, you will bear the fruit of all of your hard work. But just live in peace and learn to, by looking at what's going on over there, if you can help, great. If you can't, act in a peaceful manner and let go of whatever resentment you got with whomever you've got. Not worth it. Seriously. At the end of the day, you give yourself more of a headache, and I don't want the stress in my body because I don't want to age my body, even damage my organs because of the stress. We're living too much in a society where, we have enough pressure, or I don't want to use the word pressure, but I'm going to use the word pressure with, everybody want to set their own trend. They want to set their own pace and their own rules. I said, just live your life the way your spirit is telling you to live it. And that's it. And if somebody else doesn't like it, that's okay, because not everybody's going to like what you're doing no matter what. But just be your own self. That to me is more important than anything else in the world. So be your own self. Have a good rest of the night. As I said, I'm going to unplug right now. I have some bunch of stuff to do before I have to go. Yay. And Mike is asleep. I'm going to sneak a picture. I'm going to put it on Instagram because the boy is asleep with the ball. And he is gone like the wind. Until they kick him out of doggy daycare, or I will have to leave one over there, one with me, and the other one goes to doggy daycare, which is not fair, but that's sometime life. So I probably, if I have to leave one behind, I will be Dada. I will take care of my girl here with me, go for a long walk because she will be with me at all time. But yeah, those two are just enjoying their evening. But yeah, guys, just have a good evening. Spend time with your family, and do a self-inventory of where you are, and just step up and have a conversation on wisdom with people. I think it's a great way to do it. and reconnect with your loved one. Take the time to go back to basics, meaning no social media, no TV, just a fun family time. Even if you have to go back to, those board games and stuff like that. I like those board games actually, and make a fun night or a fun day. Do something fun with your loved one and don't feel like you have to rush for everything. That's the big deal. So, all my love, guys. I will be back Sunday night, and it's gonna be. I'm excited for Sunday night. Today is unwind day, but Sunday night's gonna be awesome show with, and I'm looking forward to it with Ben, where he's gonna start his first show and his first episode with me. And he's launching his brand new talk on Monday night. So it's going to be super interesting to listen to him sharing his story, his life. It's going to be a great conversation between the two of us, and I'm really looking forward to it because that's always what I love to do, having people coming and sharing their stories, their thoughts, their silliness. We could have a good moment anytime we're here, but it's just living our life to the passions, be there for each other's, and encouraging each other's. It's not a competition because the only person you can compete against is your own self. Nobody else's is your competition. You need to understand that. And thank you, universe, for reminding me of that. That's where the ego comes into place. The reality, we're on a different track. All of us are on a different track. We are not on the same path. It can be parallel. We can be parallel to each other. We can have a similar story, but we are not on the same track. Our destiny is different. Our life lessons are different. Our life purpose are different. We're here as a student of life to learn something that we need to learn, but nobody else is going to learn it the way we're going to learn it. So keep this in mind when you're working with people. That's why I'm helping people. That's the reason, actually, I'm helping people and welcoming people like Ben or anyone, or Cece, hi Cece, by the way, who's here, that, if they step up for the first time on that platform and talk to me, I am more than happy to support them in their journey. It's not a competition. I could care less. I don't want to compete. I am my biggest competitors, and I play against myself. That's how I push myself beyond the limit, actually. And I can accomplish all of the madness I've done because I pushed myself, and that was it. The resilience and the rage inside of me did the rest. But everyone should be able to, to come and join the conversation, and we should be here to encourage each other to do the same. And that's my goal here. So it's always nice to see when people have their own talk and you can participate and let them fly away and do what they got to do, because that's their journey. It's not mine, it's theirs. And if I can be part of it for a minute to help them, to inspire them, to give them that fire, to light up the fire in them, to really go for it, then I will be there for them. That's why I'm here for, to encourage others to do what they're supposed to be doing. That's all. That's all. That's what it is in my book. There is nothing else. But again, live in peace, have a good time, have a prayer for Ukraine and Europe, because that touch everybody, and a peace for around the world, not only Ukraine, but everybody, and for people in Russia as well. This is my prayers to them as well, because they all deserved that. They all caught in the middle of a delusional world of ding-dong. I like the ding-dong. I think I'm going to buy a box. I'm going to send it over there to the Kremlin. We'll see if they will accept that. I'm not so sure, because I might have to use people because they cannot fly anymore. So snuggle too, but smuggle it over there so we can have a taste of a ding-dong, and maybe that will stop his madness. Who knows? So have a good night, guys. We'll see you Sunday night, 7:30 Eastern time, for that awesome show that I'm looking forward with Ben. And to me, it's going to be a great show to witness somebody that I truly believe is a great person. Like everybody here, you're all great and beautiful. But to me, encouraging somebody that took my challenge, that's what I do, and make it his own, it's going to be beautiful to see all of that. So have a good evening, guys. I might be hopping on some of your shows, maybe tonight or tomorrow. Who knows? You never know with me what I'm going to do. But I wish everybody a beautiful evening, and I will talk to you later. All my love. Bye.